Blessings, everyone. Today has been very miraculous, and it's been a little while since I have been connecting with Soul Family, and Spirit is nudging. It's time. It's time to come out of the stillness and the self-isolation. Sometimes we all go through these things where we just need a little time to center and be in the human energy, where in the here and the now, and just reconnecting with friends, family, nature. And it helps to bring through the energy. But as always, Spirit is calling and says it's time to be in this space and reconnect with everyone in this energy level of spirit. And so I would like to offer, this is a message of the guides. Today there's been a lot of interesting messages coming through for me today. Personally, a lot of learning has been going on, and I still keep in contact with everyone. I peek once in a while, because life has been busy on the social media things, and it's just amazing. Everyone is in this frequency. I see it. Everybody is... They're coming into this space now. We're like, aha moments. I get it. This is exactly where I need to be. And it's so incredibly inspiring. It's just been phenomenal to see everyone that's been on the journey that I have spoken with personally, or just reading about, or listening to everyone when I'm out and about. I'm meeting people in the streets. I'd be interested if anybody else is experiencing that, where it's the most unlikely situations where you're getting messages and you're able to just give a small message to someone randomly, where it seemed like everybody was still in that space after the lockdown in many places in the world, where we were kind of like still feeling our social etiquettes out again. And it's kind of like now it's like it re-blossomed. And I mean, I've experienced hugging people and looking into people's eyes again, and just feeling that kinship. And it's even stronger than it ever was now. I feel like that we've all come through something. It's just that mass awakening to remembering that we're all in this together, that we're all not so spaced apart like what happened in the physical, when they parted all of us and we weren't having the interactions that we need. So as a community, as a soul group, as a family, we're all here together on this planet, this beautiful Earth School, just trying to make our way, learning our lessons. And the guides have been very, very prevalent, saying that this little moment that we had where we were all very isolated was that gentle reminder that we needed, so very many of us needed, that there is no taking away. Sitting on the internet, looking at likes, looking at updates, constantly craving that attention from what isn't real. I mean, even making these videos, it was very difficult for me to come back to this because it felt very distant and almost like out of touch with everything. Like, so much of it has come so convoluted, and it's so hard to distinguish between what's AI and what's real, and who's being themselves on the internet and who's playing a game. It's still very convoluted. And so Spirit was kind of like, well, stay centered in what you know. I've had the experience now to reconnect with everything around me, and I'm encouraging all of you that's watching this right now. This is a long intro to this reading, but put the phone down. Put the constant feeding and entertaining the mind down and sit with it. Get out there. Go for a walk and say good morning to someone. Go sit with your feet on the ground, even if it's for 10 minutes, and listen, even if it's just to the rustling of the leaves. Get out there. I know so many people are still working jobs and caught up in the 9 to 5 thing and just trying to pay the bills, and it feels like chaos sometimes, and it's like, yeah, easier said than done. But even in the surroundings, I remember when I used to work, there was a time many years ago when I was working in a factory, and even in that, it was like a meditation, listening to the machines, just gently looking over at everybody around me, noticing, looking in their eyes, looking into them, not at them. And that was the biggest theme that Spirit has been so prevalent to me, is that we spend time on these phones, these laptops, these devices, looking at everything. We're looking at nature on a screen. We're looking at things to make us laugh. We're looking at videos. We're looking at these fast-moved, crazy antics to just to get our minds off of everything. When really, one of the biggest keys to all of this and getting through this lifetime is mastering that sense of constantly needing to be entertained, constantly needing to do something with the mind rather than sitting with it. When we're afraid that we're going to have our thoughts run away with us, we have not mastered that. And that is the biggest key, that we need to sit in that space. If we need to sit and watch endless hours of binge Netflix, or we need endless hours of watching TikTok videos, there's something inside of us that we are trying to bury that really needs to come out. And I just spent the last few months stepping away from it all, because we're worth it. We are so worth it. This journey, we're in a space now where we get it. We know what we're doing here. We know our purpose. We understand why we're working through these things. We can't be afraid to have emotions. We can't be afraid to feel. We can't be afraid to break. And yes, it's hard to stay in that space of love all the time, because things are going to drive us up the wall, push buttons, so to speak. But we've been told this over and over again. These are the moments. These are the things that are the keys to our expansion, is all these little things we notice. And we can see these as opportunities. It isn't so much getting out of the head. It's getting into the mind. Stop burying everything. Stop avoiding everything. Stop all this influx of information. Like, we can't even sit silent. We have to have music blasting and televisions going and news coming, and it's just utter chaos in our world. Some people have a very hard time just being silent, because they're afraid of their thoughts. They're afraid, I don't want my head to go there. I don't want to get into my head. Then stay in your heart. Go in your heart. Feel. That's the key to all of this. Feel your way through. Let your heart tell your head where to be. And with that, first I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be this medium of light. And I ask all of our guides and messengers to please step forward and help bring a message for the highest good. I am grateful. I'm just going to shuffle. I always do 3. 1 embodies the energy of Source. The second shuffle embodies the energy of Spirit. And the third embodies the energy of Soul, which is this small part that we've pulled upon to create a personality, to create the theme, and go on the journey here. It's like taking that little part of the map and letting the higher part of it navigate, switch from the mind into the heart, so we can not only see the map, but we can feel our way through it. That's part of this journey. And so I'm just gonna, they usually tell me which one to take. They're saying take this one. Calm is not a weakness. And as the energy connects and I'm listening, they're saying, recently they're reminding me, I've the last day or so, there's been a lot of heavy emotional energy for me. I've been purging left and right, as everybody has. We have these cycles of moments. We're going through the spiral, and sometimes we're just in that purging state where everything's coming out. Maybe there's no rhyme or reason to it. We're not really sure, but it's stuff that we have to let go of. And then they're saying the calm is not the weakness. That so many times we feel like we have to react. We feel like we have to have these outbursts and say everything out loud. We have to make our point. We have to have a statement. We have to have a cause. Something. And Spirit is saying, when we feel compelled to shout something out, or let the world know we're here, rah, get our angries on, or have our voice heard, when we feel like there's injustice and we're on this whole thing, we're going to open everybody's eyes, we're going to show them the truth, and they're a bunch of sheep if they don't see it. Step back a moment and ask, go within. Is it feeling good? If we're going through the heart space, is shouting in the middle of a crowd feeling really good? Because sometimes, yeah, giving a good scream. I've had those moments when I've wanted to throw a pie, so to speak. But does it feel good? Does it really feel good? Or are we just looking to move the energy because deep down inside we want to feel the calm, we want to feel the peace, and so we're trying in our own way in that moment. Or we're being impulsive and we're screaming. We're just shouting things out. This is how I feel. I have a right to this. Or we see something we feel is unjust, and we're just going to type a bunch of things on the internet and go on a rant to feel better. Somehow have our voice heard. Connect with others that are in this space. But through all of this, if we stop and we ask ourselves, what is the motivation behind it? Is it really to be heard? Is it really because we feel like we have to say what we need to say? Does everybody really need to hear that? If something is true, does it need to be shouted at the rooftops? Spirit has always said this to me. Just because something makes sense doesn't mean that it's true. And if we stop before we go into these spaces, we calm that energy down and move it a different way, we recognize then that what it is isn't so much about what we're saying. It's this energy we don't understand. And we're really craving a calmness, a peace. So what compels us, what makes us want to go out there and scream it to the world, or put the bumper sticker on the back of the car about politics, or go out there on the internet and have a 20-minute video of all the ignorance that we see in the world? What is really compelling that? Yes, there is motivation. There's that sense of connecting in kinship with each other. There's also that feeling of that maybe we're going to inspire someone. But in the calmness, in that centeredness, when we approach these things, there is that peace, that calmness within. It's not a weakness if we say what we need to say without bursting all the energy into it. Because the first thing that happens when we come at everything with full force, even with healing modalities, if anybody's ever had a session of Reiki, you don't sit down and they're just pummeling energy at you. I mean, the Reiki master is going through the motions and explaining to you what's occurring, and they're gentle and they're moving the energy because they understand that we don't need a wave of healing energy. That would just blow us through a loop. And it puts people's defenses up right away. It puts the cage around us. It puts the warrior coat on, and we all withdraw. As soon as it comes at us like that, it just shuts everything down. That's where the weakness lies. That's where the vulnerability lies. That's where subtlety and calmness will proceed and shine. Because in those calm states, in the calmness, we have the moments we can see the clarity. We're not reacting. We're not responding. We're integrating. We're speaking from a space of complete knowing. It's no longer about getting a point across, being heard, being noticed, adding to the chaos that we're observing. We're being the calm in the storm. We can say what we need to say. I don't know. They're bringing up, I haven't watched it, but again, social media just bombards and puts everything out there, and there's nothing sacred anymore because it's all on the internet. I mean, people want to take pictures of their donuts they're eating in the morning. A little bit donut. So, Spirit is saying that even the recent, we have politics going on right now, and it's just utter chaos. It's people going at each other. It's just to make the point. It's like, how far can I stick the knife so I can get the upper hand? And that's what this energy is. And they're saying that the calmness is the strength, because we have to master the emotions. We have to master not wanting to inject emotions into others. Emotions are something to feel to help us navigate Earth School. Emotions are something that should always inspire us to express in a beautiful, creative way. And if we've mastered our mind and we're not in the monkey mind of always wanting to be entertained by everything and sitting back and burying our thoughts, and we go into the heart space, when we think, we feel, it's a coincidence. It's a beautiful polarity. It makes the energetic exchange between each other so much more. It's so vivid and beautiful. That's where inspiration comes from, when the inspirers ignite us from the other side in the spirit world. They're very calm. They pour that emotion, they pour that energy into us, and so we can create. They'll give us that moment, that little nudge where they'll say, hey, do you notice that beautiful flower over there? Smell that fragrance, feel the petals. We're just immersed in sensation. And that turns to emotion, and emotion becomes energy, and that energy becomes shared, and we know how this goes. But this all has to come from a place of calm. And to master this and be able to step in that calmness, we have to first master always needing to be right, always needing to be heard, always needing to be entertained, always needing to bury anything that we feel. And remembering that it's okay to want to be calm and peaceful. It's great. Spirit loves when we're in the joy and we're out having a laugh. We're being a little loud and rambunctious because it's a great time. We're out dancing, or the kids are screaming and shouting on the playground. These are all the things that come from that space. And when it comes from the calm of the heart, people feel that. We could sit down with someone and have a very intense conversation about politics and express our views very passionately. But when you're coming from that heart space, it's a different energy. People listen. They love the exchange. Both will be changed a little bit from that. And both will walk away, or as many people that are having the conversation will walk away feeling like, wow, that was really intense, that was amazing. Even if there was no common ground in it, it's just this undeniable connection that we have. We're interweaving our worlds with the energy. And it really does come from that space. We all know at the end of the day, things that we share in common here is that all of us want to experience love, and all of us want to experience some sort of peace. And if we can, even in the heated moments when things are aggravating, you got to shout a little bit and let it out. Keep the calmness within. Don't shout out in the energy to give that to someone so somebody else can feel that pow or that intenseness that you're feeling, like the old saying, misery likes company. If you need to let it out so you can go back into your centered calmness. Intention is everything. We're not out to overbear each other and give each other these negative things, because we get caught up in that. And that's something that happens when we're stuck in the monkey mind of always wanting to be entertained, having all this noise going on. That stays in us. It's just running up and down our chakra systems. It's like putting everything on super hyperdrive. Some people have so much energy from this, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know where it comes from. Feed the goodness. Feed that energy. And no matter what we express from there, will be welcomed. So, they're pulling their energy back. Calmness is not a weakness. If we can really center in the space and exchange with each other from a very mindful place in the heart, these connections will shift. And the most incredible miracles will occur between so many of us as a soul family on this journey here. Because we're not out to take each other down with us. We want to express. We don't want to impede. Thank you for allowing me to bring this message today. It's one I needed myself very deeply. I'm going to watch this video and listen a few times after I share it, because it's been something personally myself I've been struggling with. And so bringing this guidance through is a lesson for me, a teaching for me. And it's an honor. It's such an honor with gratitude that I have to be able to share this with everyone, because I've learned so much from everyone. Connecting and learning and expanding, it just brings this bond. It brings this little piece of spirit here to help us navigate. So I wish everyone a beautiful day filled with love in the calm space. It's a very beautiful day, no matter where we are in the world. Allow the experience. Much love, everyone.